Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Welcome to the New Wave Therapy channel. My name is Bob Burdekin. Our creator and host is Bob Burdekin. Bob is a board-certified natural health practitioner and also is certified in the Country Doctor Herbal Education Program. Good day, Bob. And could you explain what we do here at New Wave Therapy, especially with the Country Doctor Herbals?
Oh, I'd be glad to. It's great to be on with you today. But here at New Wave Therapy, we prioritize transparency, quality assurance, and have a timeless bond between nature and health. And we do all this by using the full line of Country Doctor Herbals and work within a total of 8 categories. And those categories are we do digestive support, immune support, we do cleansing support, there's hormonal support, we do structural support, there's also the environmental support, nutritional support, and lastly, but not least, of course, is cardiovascular support. And I thought we'd start with the most asked problem, and that was actually the digestive support. What I'd like to do is to explain that there are actually 2 sides to the digestive process, and many people don't even realize that these 2 sides exist. And they're called the mechanical side and the chemical side.
Okay. Could you explain the mechanical workings of the digestion?
Okay.
Digestion. Sorry.
All right. The mechanical side, actually, when you chew your food, that's the mechanical workings of digestion.
Okay. Could you explain the chemical workings of the digestion?
The chemical side actually happens when the saliva glands are activated, and that's the integrating of the chemical workings of digestion.
Okay. Now, some of our problems with digestion is not what we eat, but how we eat or how we chew our food. Is that right?
That's true. Actually, the more liquefied the food is that you eat, the easier it is to enter your system. Your body will expel less energy to extract the nutrients from that food, and it'll give a much better flow through to the stomach, the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas, then the small intestine, and then finally to the large intestine. In other words, even if you had let's say you had a smoothie, you'd swish it really good in your mouth. That would stimulate the saliva glands and it'll activate the chemical workings of digestion. And if your chemical workings of digestion are overwhelmed because you don't chew your food properly, it can contribute to the faulty digestion problems that many people have. So there's the mechanical workings and there's the chemical workings. And I found that the best thing to explain to people about mechanical workings is what Dr. John Christopher has always said. He said to drink your solids and chew your liquids, because there's a lot of moving parts working synergetically together to achieve maximum and optimum digestive function.
Okay. So when our grandmothers or great-grandmothers, I guess they were right when they used to say, chew your food for 30 times before swallowing.
Oh, yes. I got that all the time from my grandmother and actually sometimes from my mother. And once that food has been mechanically chewed up thoroughly and it's purified in the stomach, it's then released into the small intestine where the food rolls over the villi that's contained in the small intestine. Then it's purified into small enough pieces and particles, and it's actually tagged or given enzymes so that it can be absorbed into the bloodstream. And then that is filtered through the liver and is either utilized as a nutrient or a waste product. So the bad habit of not chewing thoroughly and just wolfing down your food is a major contributor to an unhealthy gut. People need to learn better chewing habits. It sounds simple, but it pays big dividends when people pay attention to this one single point.
What is the second contributor factor to digestive problems?
That is a very good question. And the next contributing factor, really, that I always point out to people as far as poor digestion is how they combine foods that they're eating. Like combining a protein such as, say, beef or pork, lamb, or even fish should only be eaten with green salads or vegetables. Starches such as cereals and grains should be combined with vegetables. And combining protein with a starch together creates confusion within the digestive process due to the fact that it takes two different enzymes, one to break down the proteins and one to break down the starches. And what happens if you mix those two together, there's a total disruption in the digestive process, and it actually doesn't work very well. So any type of fruit as well should be eaten by itself, allowing 30 minutes either before or after a meal. So there's a lot to look at as far as people, how they should actually intake food. That's a big factor as well.
Okay. And why should fruit be eaten alone?
Well, people need to develop a habit of eating fruit as a mid-morning snack, say around 10 in the morning or even in the afternoon, say about 2 o'clock. And again, 30 minutes before or after a meal. Now, this is due to the digestive process of fruit. It's quite different than any other food we take in. Fruit has a very fast transition time through the stomach other than foods. In other words, it doesn't sit in the stomach very long to start to break down. It actually passes through the stomach into the small intestine. And then due to the natural sugar contained in fruit, the longer it stays in the stomach, the greater the amount of gas is produced, and consequently, that creates a lot of the bloating factors. You need to have an apple or a banana in the afternoon, have some grapes or even some watermelon. Now try some grapefruit, anything like that. But remember, eat the fruit by itself. Again, thoroughly chewing mechanically. Make sure that you really liquefy the food before you swallow it. And this is going to have the greatest impact on your digestive health and digestive maintenance than any other two things worth mentioning, because they support the chemical process of digestion and make sure that you have good gut flora. That's where the good gut flora comes from. It comes from the fruit and the enzymes in the fruit. That's where a product such as Country Doctor Herbal Bioflora comes in. It's got free radicals and probiotics and keeps that environment in that gut very healthy and very robust.
Okay. Should you eat a heavy meal early in the day or later in the day?
You know, when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time at my grandparents' farm, and spending summers with my grandparents, uh, we had a very different meal pattern than I had in the city in the wintertime with my mother. And it started with a very early breakfast and usually a very big breakfast. Then midday we'd have a break and we'd have a snack. Come lunchtime, we'd have a main meal again. I mean, this was a huge meal. And then after that, we would have another break in mid-afternoon, and then we'd take a snack. The evening meal was usually around 6 o'clock, and it was much lighter meal than lunchtime. So we actually ate less in the evening than we did at noontime. Now, this structure of meals allowed for greater digestion time and made sure that the most of the digestive process was done by the time we went to bed. You know, people back then had fewer digestive problems, they slept better, and they had fewer health issues.
Okay. I know we ourselves have followed the program called 6211. Could you explain a little about that program?
Yeah, this meal pattern, the meal pattern that my grandmother followed is pretty much like the 6211 program, and that we tend to promote. And that consists of six vegetables, two fruits, one starch, and one protein a day. And people tend, there are people out there today that they tend to eat later, say 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and then they go to bed an hour later. And that's when their body is totally engaged in the digestion process. And those people tend to have a faulty gut pattern, and it keeps them up at night, or they just don't even sleep well. All that leads to a vicious cycle of all kinds of digestive problems.
Okay. Um, what do you suggest? How do you suggest for people to get started to have a healthier um, digestive system?
Well, people have got to realize that they didn't get digestive problems overnight. It's something that has built up over the years from eating habits that they have taken on. Um, and what I tell people, it takes 3 to 6 months for the right support to move on to feeling stable so that after 1 to 3 years, they can feel restored. Now, thinking about the different support products that we do have and are needed by people that are getting the mechanical side of digestion to a point where they have started to change their habits, but they need a little nudge in the gut that may be peppermint or ginger, or one of the easiest ways to improve it is with a product called Country Doctor Herbal HP Digest. And this is a liquid version, and it tastes nice and pepperminty. Anybody that wants a little boost to the chemical support in the stomach or in the gut for digestion, this is the starting point for balancing out digestion problems. Anyone can go to our website, newwavetherapy.com, for a complete description of HP Digest.
And I believe it comes in capsule form?
It comes in liquid and capsule form. Both are on the website.
Yeah. And is there another Country Doctor product that could help?
Well, another product that we recommend is Country Doctor Herbal HP Pancreas. This is an all-natural herbal blend of support blood sugar. It supports blood sugar and any concerns are in that area. It's suitable to help people that are both diabetic and hypoglycemic.
Which you are.
I'm hypoglycemic. Yes, I am. I
Yeah,
can be a little nasty if I get hungry.
Yeah. And your mom was diabetic, so.
Both my mother and my grandmother
Yeah.
were diabetic, and
I
to the
believe Joy
point
was
of,
hyperglycemic like you.
oh, my Aunt Joy, who was with the horses, yeah, she was hyperglycemic as well. We just couldn't skip meals together because nobody could eat around either one of us, so we couldn't even get with each other. So it wasn't a good thing. So,
Okay. Are you finished with explaining with that one?
sure.
If you feel that you need more than just the HP Digest, could you recommend something else?
Well, the next step up is a product called S-Zymes, and that stands for systemic enzymes. It's slightly more aggressive and would be for someone that might have a problem with either type 1 or type 2 diabetes. They would be having a slight pancreas problem with the possibility of systemic inflammation due to the fact that the foods aren't being broken down properly within their digestive system. That's when I would suggest to use enzymes.
And I know that you take the super enzymes, and could you explain why?
Yeah, actually the third step up, because there are varying levels of digestive problems. The other answer is the one for individuals that have had a lot of habits in place for a long time, such as myself. As a kid, I lived on Twinkies and Coke and everything I shouldn't have eaten, and too much sugar.
Fried bologna sandwiches.
Fried bologna sandwiches, your favorite. I also fried up spam. But when you're a single kid, you just kind of do what you have to do to survive. But anyway, the product is called Country Doctor Herbal Super Enzymes Plus. And the person that would need this probably also has a GERD or acid reflux problem. And they might even have a hiatal hernia issue. And no matter what they eat, they get a lot of bloating, a lot of gas, nausea, as well as constipation. These individuals most likely have lost their gallbladder. On the average, throughout the United States, on a daily basis, there's 7,000 gallbladders removed. And I know that since I'm one. So, this product is taken with meals. In fact, before every meal, especially when protein is eaten. And, that's what I have to do. I don't have a gallbladder. I will tell you that if you use this product regularly, it can really balance out the digestive system because it actually aids, in the total digestive system because you've lost your gallbladder. It kind of takes the place of the gallbladder.
And
So,
we've taken cheese out of your diet.
oh, cheese is another thing. Actually, a lot of people that have these digestive problems, it's probably the best thing they can do is to get off dairy products right away. And it means all dairy products. It means milks, cheese, anything that comes from a cow, unless you can get it straight from the cow. If you can get it right from the factory, and that's a total different situation. But most people get their dairy products in a store. So, those are the products because they're homogenized, they've been heated, a lot of the good enzymes and that have been taken out of them. So they actually work against your entire system. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons a lot of people have digestive problems today. All the products that I've mentioned here today are all available and they can be seen in much greater detail, full detail, in our website at newwavetherapy.com.
Okay. And we've also restricted your beef intake too.
Yeah, I don't eat as much. I don't eat as much meat either.
No.
It really makes you slow down. It actually, even with these super enzymes, it is hard for the system to work with uh, like steak. It works good with ground up meats, but as far as solid, like steak, roast, and that, it's a little harder for the digestive system to break those down. Consequently, it doesn't always give you enough. You end up having to take more than normal as far as enzymes.
And you're not against any cattle. Yeah, I mean, we're
No,
foodies.
no. I have nothing
We're
against
big foodies.
we're people that eat all types of meat. We continue to tell people you can eat meat, you just have to do it in lesser amounts. You may have to make sure that the meat you eat is more ground up and easier for the digestive system to work with. That's the only thing we do about as far as that area.
Okay. So, do you know, do you know what you're going to be doing?
Well, we'll be continuing
Next
this
time?
series on the 8 categories of support here on the New Wave Therapy channel. So I'd like to suggest that you keep an eye out for when they're posted. And to do so, it's as easy as subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so. We've had a tremendous amount of people that are already subscribed. We've got over 700 people subscribed to our channel. But our next topic will be covering the immune support. So have you got anything else to add here?
No.
Well,
I
so
guess we
until
don't. I guess we don't do the other.
no, well, so until next time, I want people to
need,
stay healthy and be natural.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We need a new tagline.
yeah.
So what is it now?
It's so until next time, stay healthy and be natural.
Okay. Thank
Okay?
you.
No problem.
All right. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.